Now, President Akufo-Addo is scheduled to address a gathering of nations at the ongoing United Nations Climate Conference dubbed COP26 on November 2, according to the climate change adaptation expert, Dr. Antwi Boesiako Amoah, who is part of a Ghanaian delegation in Glasgow. High on the president's agenda is climate funding.
The president will speak on some of very important high-level issues like climate financing, for example, especially financing climate change adaptation for developing countries. This has always been a kind of tangle between developed and developing countries as to the flow of financing for adaptation activities in developing countries. So world leaders are meeting today and tomorrow to re-emphasize the need for developed country parties to stay on their commitment to mobilize climate financing as it's contained in the convention, because what we are doing here is governed by the Global Convention or Global Treaty, which is the UNFCCC Convention. And so whatever the articles that are stated in terms of climate financing, we need to actually stick to them, not to backslide. And so this is one of the key things that the president will talk about. The president will also talk about the economies that are vulnerable to the impact of climate change and which has also been even devastated by COVID-19 activities. And so how do we actually use clean solutions or green solutions to bring back the economy as we rebuild Ghana? But high on the agenda will be on climate financing.
But what does climate change mean to the ordinary citizen? How does it impact our lives as individuals? We've been tossing the microphones to you, and here's what some of you had to say.
Especially, it has affected Ghanaians a lot. Talking about our agriculture, when you talk about even the ministries here, the way our attendance to work, maybe sometimes a distance, the raining and all that, you have to be at work late. But normally it wasn't like that. We know by now the rain should have stopped and all that, but this time it's not like that.
All borders on the depletion of the environment. The sea has its own, the pollution, and then deforestation, community not planting enough trees, etc. So I think in a whole, we need to work hard as people because the future danger is very, very real.
Farmers who knew the traditional pattern, if you like, lost much of their produce because they knew that when they knew the time they had to plant, they did that and now everything went waste because there was no rainfall. Only to realize that the rains are now coming every day in recent days. And so climate change is I don't know whether it's natural or man-made.
Has really affected the agricultural space. When we are expecting the rains, it doesn't come at that time. And when we don't expect it, during harvest time, that is where we see a lot of rainfall. And it eventually destroys the crop that we have been able to achieve.